Hi, everybody. This is Joanna. There's this weird voice that just came up. We're just doing our early morning Ascension show. Hi. Everybody's in the house, and we're doing some beautiful sacred co-creating today. We're so happy that everybody is with us today from all galaxies, from all creation, from all planets and all realms. There's lots of activity happening outside. And so it's a bustling vibration of love and light. And imagine yourself in this beautiful, sacred, this beautiful little European Duomo, as you know, the little villages that are outside these beautiful sacred buildings. And there's just a beautiful soft bustling with beautiful, the summer sunshine on your skin, and you're just feeling really warm, and you're watching all the people bustling about, and just a really beautiful light movement of energy. And this is how we're feeling in these new cycles of co-creation. And that's what we wanted to talk about today and offer for our divine human collective and all of those that tune into our classes. Oh, and reminder, we have the full moon tomorrow, and that's why many of you are perhaps feeling those intense energies to release and really eclipse any energies or any frequencies that's coming up in your daily reflections and your daily self-care as you're clearing out what is feeling heavy and feeling as if those karmic cycles keep going around and around, continuing to provide you with the same stories of lack and limitation or fear, or whatever stories those vibrational cords and threads are holding you within, and the projections and the limitations that you're noticing and you're acknowledging, you become aware of. And that's the whole process of awareness, of your consciousness expanding. The consciousness of all that you are as spirit, as you're being bathed in light from above and from below and from within and from without. Light is everywhere. And your higher self and your teams and your soul and everything is activating you to become more aware. Who am I now? How would I like to express myself now? How can I move in a more loving and fluid experience of who I am? Because the soul in all of it itself wants to explore itself as love, to express itself as love, and to experience itself as love. That's the soul. That's how we grow as a soul. That's how we move from one cycle of evolution to another. And it's always within those 3 E's that we often talk about, that you can constantly look at your daily reflection. How can I evolve into a higher experience of me creatively? Because as we're expressing and creating ourselves anew, we get to direct our new story. We get to write it. We get to carry the vibrations up into the story. What are the themes and what are the vibrations I want to connect within today? What are the vibrations of the little village and the coffee shop that I'm sitting outside and just watching life happen? What are the vibrations? How do I want to create the scenery? How do I want to create the characters in the scenery? And so it's a constant recreation and evolution of who you are, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, etherically, energetically. And in that, you get to choose for yourself and discern for yourself what your truth is, who you are, how you choose to express yourself, explore yourself, and experience yourself anew. You're a constant bouquet of constant recreation, recreation, recreation. And that's how we're creating these new cycles of evolution. These new cycles of evolution cannot be what they were from the same vibrations of the stories that we're trying to release and let go of. And that's why our daily self-care is so important, to call in that light, to honor your bodies physically, mentally, emotionally, and nurture yourself and nourish yourself, and really be the fertilizer of your own expanded source garden, who you are as the mother, who you are as the father, by giving it back to you and honoring yourself in that loving and nurturing way. And yesterday, or the day before, I can't remember, we did a post, and it's always on our Facebook, that post. And they were showing me I had a beautiful sacred connection yesterday with my teams, and just connecting with the Christ consciousness. It's an ever evolving new cycle. Every day feels new, because I'm feeling into the depths of that Christ consciousness that is eternal and infinite, the mother and the father, and just that soaking and softening. The deeper you go, the softer you go, the deeper you go, the softer you go, and just the enrichment that is source, creator, the love of who we are. Because as you're releasing the densities and the wounds and the healing of yourself by bringing back in love and care of the mother and the father, we then become the mothers and the fathers to our parents, because oftentimes our wounding and our healing comes from the reflections and the stories that we were shown in all of the stories we chose to be within and deposit ourselves within, to grow into who we are as beings of light, that we get to choose sovereignly what our new story is of our potentiality, mentally, physically, emotionally, and etherically. How do we choose to look at how we move about our everyday life in new ways. We get to choose and discern that for ourselves, and not simply be fed stories from outer sources that are other people's ideas and projections of what humanity and society is all about. But an infinite number of evolutionary beginnings, evolutionary co-creative stories, evolutionary creative blessings, where we all get to be the minutia of new heightened experiences. And not one is right or wrong. It's all right. It's all true. But we, as sovereign souls, as ones that nourish thyself, we awaken the source within us, thyself. We're healing of thine name, being that we are our highest potential of our own highest knowing for ourself. And why we go through those moments of those cycles of ascension where we're led and we're guided in different directions, because that soul wants that rich experience. It doesn't want just that one experience of just that one store in the mall, if you will. It wants to go to those different stores. And that's why religion will always have its place, because as the soul grows, it wants to create those interpretations and then discern through itself, how do I feel about this? What is this allowing me to explore and express for myself? And then discerning for yourself, does this feel right and true for me? And how can I express myself more fully in it? And if there is a limitation of expression, if there is a limitation of your soul's experience, if there is a limitation of your soul's desire to explore itself in any one thing, then that gives you the discernment to then, again, it's all a palette of neutrality, if you will. But you get to discern yourself from how you feel. How you feel, then it takes it out of the neutrality, because then you get to feel, no, that didn't feel right. That felt a bit awkward and strange. That felt a bit restricted and greedy. You get to feel into what that means for you, and then you get to create a new choice. So our emotions and our emotional body is very important. Our intuitive body is very important, because that helps direct us into how we feel. And those interpretations of how we feel are constantly changing and shifting. The more we become aware of, the more we allow ourselves to integrate, and the intelligence awakens from many different aspects. Our intelligence comes from multidimensional perspectives, from within and from without. We're creating the intelligence that we ingather and we garner in, and we create introspection and observation, and we go to classes and we sign up for all of those experiences that we can gain information and knowledge from. But our intelligence and our DNA and our wisdoms that are held multidimensionally, galactically, sovereignly as Christic beings, are coming from a multidimensional experience, and oftentimes are activated somewhat from our outer experience. But the grander proportion of our higher vibrational intelligence is a multidimensional activation. And it's tapped in and tapped into and activated, if you will, from the outer experience. But they're vibrations that you feel into, and they're vibrations that you ask for through your seeking, through your intention and free will. It's the vibration that you have with source, as source, the omnipresent of all that is, saying, I'm ready to seek that higher vibrational wisdom of who I am as source. I want to explore that. I want to experience myself as the higher creativity of source through my intelligence. It's a multidimensional experience and feeling and sensation. And why our intuitive bodies, our feeling bodies, the emotional bodies are so very important to that higher vibrational intelligence. The emotional bodies must be cleared first, because emotional bodies are so filled with, you can't express yourself. It's that Vesica Pisces. To express yourself fully as spirit, to your unique creativity, you must heal those wounds that said you're not creative. You're not expansive in your intelligence. So it's how you express yourself as the intelligence of source, as the vibration of source, as the feeling of source, as the love of source. It's an infinite number of experiences of vibration. And why we started our show today to say, we're in this beautiful Duomo of this European village, and there's a beautiful bustling and energy of heat that's coming off the ground and coming from the sun. And you get to explore yourself in a new vibration of intelligence. As you're exploring your creativity as a multidimensional being of light, a galactic cosmic being of light, as a human spirit creating matter, you get to call in the vibrations that you want to co-create within. You get to set the scene for your story. You get to set the inner and outer vibration of what you want to create. And I was asking the mother, I was just reading a passage in one of my favorite books. And I said, Mother, would you like to offer your experience as to what I've just read, but in your perspective from your heart? And she said to me that all moments, what did she say to me? And all moments are giving you a new perspective and a new understanding to fall in love with. So allow yourself in all moments to fall in love with this new moment, fall in love with this new experience of you, fall in love with the new way that you're perceiving your world, because it's different than it was a moment ago, and it truly is. When you're softening and you're allowing your heart space and all of your chakras to stay in alignment, because you're clearing them every day and you're honoring yourself. I love myself today, and I'm going to take 10 minutes to clear my chakras. I'm going to take 10 minutes to intentionally call in breath that is sacred, that is true for me. And I really love who I am, and I'm going to be sacred and honoring my breath within my breath, and my breath within my body and my cells. And I'm calling love and light to my bodies. And we often talk about on all of our offerings is about your activation with who you are as inherent beauty. The fifth dimensional experience of beauty and our understanding of beauty is to be rich with spirit. Well, to be rich with spirit, it's calling and nurturing your body as spirit, calling and nurturing all that you are as spirit. How you perceive life is all spirit. There's not one thing that spirit's not in. The consciousness of Source Creator, the elegance of Source Creator, the breath of Source, the omnipresence is all creation. So as you seek this and know this and nourish it within you and activate it with you and allow it to rise up within you, you then become that calling of light. You are that activation of light. You are that receptor, that vessel of light. You then becoming that vibration that is the environment that you're choosing to create that story around. You get to set that intention. What are my intentions today? Like we said earlier, well, the ground is nice and beautiful from that summer sun. So start feeding your body with the vibrations. My body feels light and healthy. My organs feel crystalline and clear. That breath is allowing me to feel lighter and more aligned with my discernment about who I am. I am clear about who I am. I know the story I want to write today. I know how I want to express myself and explore myself that is unlike what it was yesterday. And I get to fall in love with every moment brand new. Because it's offered to us in all moments brand new. Can you visualize your cells are brand new? As I breathe, my cells are brand new. I'm infusing it with beautiful, rich, and colorful light. I get to choose. I get to choose to play with color. I get to choose to play with the breath that is love, that is Source. Source is allowing me to be ignited and infused anew. And I'm already clearing just by saying that. That was a big clearing. I'm allowing myself to be rich in the expression and the exploration of who I am. I get to feel beautiful in my creativity today. And then I get to express my creativity without apology, without feeling small or wanting to be boxed in because others might not be ready to express themselves. That's okay. Allow them their story. But you can stand boldly in who you are. And that's what our children need from us to be emulated, is the freedom of our own unique expression, because that's what they're missing in everything that's traditional. Because they're taught traditional systems. The higher vibrational children, the hybrid children, crystalline children, rainbow children, whatever words that we want to describe, because all the children collectives are very rich in the rainbow that they are. And so not one term will be just like every single human on earth. We can't be placed under one term, except that, yes, we're all source beings creating, spirited matter, if we so choose. If we're walking around in the unwakefulness, then we're just creating what we did yesterday, just in a different day. And so many are walking around saying it's the same old. But we're the ones that change it. Remember, you're not your environment, you're the light within it. So create new, be new, create a new story. What's the vibration you want to feel into? We have infinite experiences that we now get to infuse vibration. So think, create, expand. And in these vibrations of the children, they're not activated and they're not inspired and ignited by linear experiences. They're multidimensional, just like I am a multidimensional experiencer, which means that I can be given a thought form from the highest of realms, vibration form. I see them like little packets, and they're deposited just now. It's all now. It's all instantaneous. And when I feel in that vibration, boom, that vibration comes and it's there. That story is there. It's like a packet in a book placed all in one packet. It's a multidimensional thing that goes beyond what we know to be space, to know that we don't know time, to know that we know that a book of 8,000 words is not. It's just a packet of information like that. And boom, you just know it. That's what these children operate within. So how can we express, and how can we create, and how can we explore ways through which we're inspiring them in beautiful multidimensional ways that includes everything that Source is? And who are we to determine, the limitations of any of these children that just don't learn in a linear way? Their DNA is not linear. Their intelligence and their intuitions and their creativity is not linear. It's an attribute. It's like linearity is like the pencil crayon. It's the tool. It's a type of tool, but it's not all that it is. You want to be able to work with pastels and oils and paints and crayons, and you want to be able to work with all aspects. Linearity is just one type of tool. So why are we creating an entire reality around linearity? That's just only one tool in your toolkit. No, we're now multidimensional. We can start creating the beautiful palette of potentiality that we are as human creativity, the potentials of who we are as humans, the potentials of who we are to create new, and every new moment, to fall in love with every new moment. That is how we can begin infusing every day, every day, every day as new, and fall in love with it all over again. Can you fall in love with you in a new way, in every hour? And most people, when I've asked that question, and we're going through our private sessions and we're getting really to the root of how we feel about ourselves, most are quiet, because they've never been taught and shown how to be in love with who they are, because that's just not what we've emulated. It's always been outside of us, looking for the peace and the happiness. Can you feel in love with who you are through breath? Take a breath. Can you see yourself as beautiful and sacred? And for those of you that would love to join us on our daily shows, you have yourself a little mirror, and these are all versions of you in all realities. And say this one right there, this one that's looking at me right there. Maybe that was just your version of you yesterday, or a moment ago, or an hour ago. But right now you're this. Right now you're beautiful. Right now you're beautiful. Right now you're beautiful. Micro, macro. This is the cells of source. The micro, macro of source. The cycles of new, the cycles of love, the cycles of source creator, the cycles of God, the cycles of creation. Everything is given a new perspective every new moment, every new moment, every new moment, how your cells can replicate. And you get to choose, that was yesterday, but today I'm going to be even lighter, I'm going to be even more colorful, and I'm going to fall in love with myself again and again and again. Because I get to state, and I get to choose the stories and the vibrations in my stories and the vibrations in my cells. I get to choose. And I want to choose, because I'm an infinite creator. I'm so creative. My creativity comes from everywhere and everything and all things, because it's source. Source is all. And I want to explore it all. I want to. I would be so excited to. And then I get to, in that wanting to explore it, absolutely simultaneously, you get to experience it. And that experience is a multidimensionally rich experience, because you can go into it and deeper and wider and deeper and richer. And why in our classes and in our co-creations, we have those moments of pause where you just get to feel deeper, feel deeper, feel deeper. And they're very emotional. And those are the releases where you've held those veils and those wounds that have been placing you. No, you can't express like that. That's not right to express like that. Or you were told in which your ways were not valued, or it was harmful, or it was, all of the ostracization that we all go through life, because it was so limiting with fearful programs of, certain ways to do things. But that's not who we're meant to be now. We're meant to transcend it and appreciate and acknowledge it, but then step out of it and create brand new and be excited and fall in love with creating new, because that's who we're meant to be. We're meant to be the new seeds of new gardens and new lands and new realms. But we can't do that if we're still stuck within stories that keep us limited and stuck. And why that daily self-care is so important. Why the Ascension cycle is so important, that aligns with moon cycles. When you're ready to release, when you're ready to integrate, when you're ready to call in and gather new information and new wisdoms, and you're ready to really get excited about your creativity. And so for those of you that join us on a regular basis, you can go to the dollar store and you can get these beautiful little mirrors, and start reflecting to yourself, and start talking with your DNA, and start talking with the innate body, start talking with your Akash, start talking with your lineage, start talking with your ancestors and all that is spirit. And just know that you are creating, thank you, Daniel. You're starting to create with all of your, I was just looking at Daniel's book there. And start, thank you, I'm already having a throat chakra clearing. Because our expression today in all of our joy and our happiness and our falling in love with who we are as divine beings, I will always remind you that you are a divine being of infinite source. You are an epicenter of light. You are renewing yourself and honoring yourself in all moments that you so desire. It's always free will, how you choose to move about your life and co-create. So take ownership and honoring of what you're creating every moment, even if it seems challenging, or even if it seems like you don't want what you're experiencing. Say, there is a lesson and a blessing in this. How can I honor it? And I can soak in it and find the love and the blessing within it. And that is the Divine Mother and the Father, the Vesica Pisces. There is always the Vesica Pisces right in the middle of anything that you think you don't want. There is something deep, rich within it that is needed for you, that is requiring of you. Because the ego will say, oh no, I didn't do that. No. And then the soul will say, well, actually, yeah, you did. Go within and go deeper. Do you love yourself? Are you honoring yourself as a magnificent co-creator? And sometimes if you're saying, no, I didn't create that, I didn't bring that to myself, you're saying, well, no, you did. You created all of it. So what can you own? And what can you change? And how can you honor it for the blessing that it is? Because there's blessings all through it at multidimensional levels. And the masters are the ones that soak within that gray. Okay, well, if this is what I've created, now how can I soak within it to see what it's for? How can I soak every level and every angle of it so I can see how can I come out and really create something from that? Because that's how you grow as a soul, not denying it, suppressing it, saying, oh, that's not mine. You got to own it and face it, and then fall in love with it and say, okay, and how can I fall in love with myself more? Because I really want to own myself in a beautiful and rich way. I want to create this way. And this is what I know of myself. And I'm letting go of those limiting beliefs that made me create something like that. I'm going to honor it and I'm going to appreciate it. And sometimes that takes a long time, especially in experiences where they are really harmful and traumatic. You know, when you're co-creating with others that don't have your highest interest at heart, or the beliefs that we've held about ourselves where we allowed, you know, relationships and experiences like that to, you know, to play part in the story. But they do allow us to grow into deeper self-love. And we do get to set those boundaries of higher inner strength and higher inner knowing and value. And those that are leaders will have a lot of those experiences. Because you need to have, as we say, you know, as especially a planet that's going from 3D to 5D, we need to be able to have that tough skin where we're not taking on the projections and the energies and the stories of others that are, you know, meant to, you know, just be in unawareness because of the vibrational experience that they're moving through and the traumas that they've experienced. And that's okay. It's not okay for sometimes the battle wounds, because it's never okay when people are harmed and hurt, you know, because the ego wants something. You know, those are the healings that we all have to move through, you know, to suss out, why did that have to occur? You know, and how can we really heal the wounds of that? And this is what we want to emulate to the children. Can you go within and can you love the experience of who you are? And really stand boldly in it and stand courageously in it. Yes, this is who I am today, and I'm okay to say it. And it's okay if you don't agree with me, then you'll go about your story and I'll continue on my story. There's still love and care and kindness, but you don't have to entangle with those that don't appreciate you and your story. You can actually choose to step out and go seek other tribe that will harmonize with you. And just send love and light all the way. But for divine feminines and for those that are healing their divine feminine wounds and the energies that we've been portrayed within, and the lack of availability that we've been given to express ourselves and explore ourselves and really create that self-confidence as a replication and a mirrored image of the children's collective, to be free in their sovereignty and voice it and stand up for it and stand in the truth of it and stand in the glory and the color of it and fall in love with it every moment. That's what we're learning to do. And all divine feminine energies are being healed in this. Even we all understand that we all have male and female energies. Because those that are actually wanting to express themselves as the divine creator in a male body and really owning their intuitive body, their emotional body, we can't be a fifth dimensional co-creator without your healing of your divine feminine body. You just can't. Because you manifest from your emotions. And you will see that more and more every moment. If you're manifesting from an emotional body that is damaged and imbalanced, that is what you will receive in your reality. Because your emotional body is out of sync, it's out of whack, it's not in balance. The divine feminine requires its healing and its harmonization with the masculine. The energies of male and female honored and valued, and the divine will of the creator say, yes, I can stand in the will of who I am, and I can speak it in the will of who I am, and I can be soft and gentle and nurturing, and I can be vibrationally, creatively expressing who I am. And that is a balanced experience of who I am, a spirit. And I get to own my truth, and I get to create my story, and I get to create a new foundation through which I'm nourishing myself. I'm honoring myself, and I'm feeding myself in loving and harmonious ways, and calling in higher vibrational nourishment. From within, higher vibrational nourishment. From above, from below, the earth. The earth is that higher vibrational information and wisdom from the grids, from the earth, from the grids, from the earth. And from within, I know who I am. I know who I am. I'm feeding my chakras. I'm feeding every cell. My chakras are open. My chakras are open. And I get to create anew. And you get to walk as this epicenter of knowingness, of self-clarity, of self-knowing and self-direction. And yes, I bless this planet. Of course I do. And the children get to speak their voice because they're seeing their parents walk with enthusiasm and positivity and creativity about who they are. And they're actually loving every moment of it. That's what we're really meant to experience. We're meant to be happy here. Are most people happy? Are most people walking around, yeah, all right, man? It can be. Of course, not every moment of every day, right? Because you need those moments where you're just present and you're just peaceful. Right? But we're not meant to be stuck in a merry-go-round of hum hum, hum ho. Well, every day is the same as the last day. No. Our creative exploration, our creative expression is profound. Beyond what we can imagine. Beyond. Can you fall in love with your new way to express yourself? Can you express yourself as dynamic source breath? When you're feeling into the breath, you can actually visualize and feel and sense your cells in your body coming alive. And you can feel your body more youthful than it was a breath before. You can. Your breath can come to life and your body can come to life and you're renewed and you're healthy and you're balanced and you're awakened who you are. Your creativity is your awakening. Your spiritual creativity, your cosmic creativity, your galactic creativity. All that you are is an omnipresent universal being of light. I'm a universal being of light. I'm a creator. I'm a creator. I get to express myself and explore myself and experience myself anew. Why can't I fall in love with myself? I love who I am. I love who I am. I'm a creator with source. I'm a creator with source. I am that I am. I am that I am. I am a kai te shushiatka. I am a makataka. I ate shishi. I am a makataka. And I get to be this for me. And it's okay. Everyone gets their own story and their own experience in their own way, because that's what makes us so dynamic. We're the garden. And in that garden, there's going to be a myriad of different flowers and bouquets and grasses and trees, and anything that we can think of is source creator. So how can we infuse and ignite our creativity? A dynamic way that we can create that's unlike any other. That's what we're constantly pressing out on. And that's what the Councils of Light said, that we'll be finding our creativity, our spiritual creativity. And I should have presented this at the very beginning, but I get so excited. Our topic today, obviously, is the spiritual creativity. It's the spiritual creativity of who we are, because we are spirit. We are more spirit than we are anything else. Our spirit is creating. Our spirit wants to explore. Our spirit wants to experience and have that creative expression in everything that we can. That's why we feel so alive and awake when we become awakened. When we are at a fully self-actualized awakened state, we want to explore and create as much as source creator as we can, as much love as we can, and then fall in love with it all over again, and then press it out for as much as it's worth. It's an infinite cycle of new cycles of love. When we reach into this new cycle of ascension, and why we say that paying attention to your ascension cycle is really allowing you to tune into how you're in gathering information, your ascension cycles are continually pressing out into new life cycles, because that's what evolution is all about. I'm preparing my body to carry greater light. And in that preparing is constant exploring, experiencing, expressing yourself. Those are constant cycles, constant cycles, constant cycles. It's eternal. From above, from below, in all dimensions, all realms. It's infinite. There's not one experience of evolution. It's an infinite exploration. You want that. Your soul wants that. And as you awaken and releasing all these densities, you're taking yourself out of the cycle routines and the merry-go-round that you thought, because now you're able to create in whatever array that you want, and you will be monetized for it in whatever way that you're so desiring to co-create it within. Because remember, abundance is all things, always. That's how we're going to expand who we are as a fifth dimensional collective in new ways. Because you might not want to have a mortgage that keeps you fit to one land. You might want different things in different houses, and maybe apartments here and there, and camping half the year. So how we're expressing and exploring ourselves and experience our new selves and our new bodies and our new love of ourselves, the experience of spirit in every moment. I get to express and explore. I'm more spirit than anything else, and I want to explore that and express it and fall in love with it every moment. And so in this ignition, in this inspiration, because that's my passion as an inspirator, as one that activates and ignites spirit in all things and reminds those that so desire, you have the vibration of source in everything, if you so choose. And in that vibration of source, you have a new way to activate something new, something new, something new, something new, something new. You are rich and you are incredibly dynamic. If you so choose, it's always free will. Can you fall in love with who you are and inspire yourself anew? Fall in love with yourself anew and create anew, so that your routine of what was is something totally new and unimaginable. And that's what you want to fall into. Not with expectations, but just allow your creativity, allow the imagination, allow the spirit of who you are to direct and guide you. And that's why discernment is so important, and why what you're being fed and what you're being shown and what you're being projected is up to your intuitive body and the healing of your emotional body to say, well, that doesn't feel right for me. That might be right for you. That's your story. That's okay. You can go and have your story, but this is my story now, because I get to choose the vibration of it. I get to choose the sensations I want within that story. And I get to create with Source, because Source is going to offer me everything within that story. That's what Source wants for us. That's the gifting of Source, always. And we offer it every day. And when you talk to the Mother and the Father and you talk to the creators within you, that's what they will offer you. There's everything provided before you. The palette of Source is infinite. We are infinite creators moving into and awakening our sovereignty. Our sovereignty is how, as light beings, can we co-create a world that is beautiful, a world that is sacred, a world that is for the greater good, a world that infinitely experiences us as new cycles of us, expanded us, all us, omnipresent us, soulful us, galactic, universal us, cosmic us, however we want to use it as vibrational words. Choose your story, choose your vibration, and then create from within. That's how you become a more beautiful experience of you, because you get to feel it. Every chakra is alive and awake. That Source feeding and nourishing you, and it can be felt. If you wanted to join our classes, we practice feeling deeper, go richer, because that's how you break those densities that were placed upon all of those vibrational stories that said you weren't important. You can't do it that way. You have to do it this way. No, you're an infinite being of co-creatorhood, and you now have discernment about who you are and how you get to express and explore yourself and stay one step into that experience of who you are as a new version of story of you, that new fifth dimensional version of you, because it's not going to look like what it was. It might have versions of it. It might have a paragraph here and there in your story, because there's still things we have to do. We have to go to the bank, until those systems change, because it will. In time, it will. We're here, our responsibility is for our epicenter of light. Our responsibility is to clear and cleanse and maintain and nourish our own multidimensional bodies and experiences. And again, I'm clearing, just saying that. See how much I clear just saying that? And in the walking and moving about of our life, and in the moving about and the exploring of everything that's outside of us, we get those densities. And then it's up to us to take responsibility and clear those densities, because their stories are not your stories. And you get to clear your experience. Say, no, my vibration is going to be here now. And that's what I want to experience. And that's what I want to explore. And that's what I want to take myself to. I get to choose the vibration of it. And I'm designing it all the way with Source. And Source is going to bring up something here. Source is going to bring me something there, like little threads. Everything is a thread for me. And I'm seeing threads just come up. Here, take this. There you go. And your teams and the spirit and all the omnipresent, the fairies and the gnomes and all of these energy beings, that is all creation, are sending you all of these little gifts of spirit. That's spirit working with you, through you, for you. It's a constant creative experience, if you so want. Choose, desire, excited to be love. It's all love. They're offering it in love because you're expressing it through love. You're expressing, no, I am worthy to have a really great life. I'm worthy to be happy. And I'm releasing all of those stories that say, no, you can't. Who are you to be happy? Well, everybody meant to be happy? Are we not? And what version of story did we ever buy into that we're not meant to be happy? Whose version of story said that we're not meant to be happy? No, we're meant to dance all the way. No regrets. Dance all the way and create, create, create. That's spirit. Evolution is change. Spirit. Creating, exploring, expressing, experiencing. Spirit, 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 spirit. And so what the councils have said to me is that as we're, what we wanted to get to is that vibration of excitement, that vibration of internal, all of those chakras are firing and working at that excited, that sacred child excitement. I'm in anticipation of who I am today. I'm excited to be who I am today. I'm exploring who I am today. I'm creative in who I am today. And in this creative excitement, there's bursts of energy that are going out into the omnipresent. And so the councils were showing me that in the new becoming of who we are, in the excitement of who we are, in the falling in love of who we are as new creative beings that are ever pressing ourselves out, ever awakening and remembering ourselves as creative spirit, creating matter from spirit, creating matter from our intentions, creating matter from the love of who we are, that we just envision these things and we dream these things, and we're now starting to see our manifestations come at faster and faster paces. And we're exploring these beautiful experiences of us. The councils were showing me that you're going to find You're going to find a greater symbiosis within creation that's meeting you. As we said before in many of our posts and many of our offerings, it will find you in equal measure. So as you're moving about in equal measure of excitement about who you are and falling in love with who you are in all moments, in how you express yourself and explore yourself and want to experience yourself, you're going to find these symbiotic experiences of equal measure. And they will be symbiosis. Because your experience as sacred spirit, there's an infinite number of threads and beings and little seeds within the garden that are also connected with that energy of co-creation. And just like the bees that pollinate the flowers and the forests and the trees, and we learn so much from the symbiosis of nature and how one takes care of another and how things are growing and flourishing through the oceans and through the water and the crystal water. As we said before, we can't take the water out of water. It just is. That's source. Source is in all things. And so as we become alive and enriched and excited about the source within all things, remember, as you become aware of it, you begin to start, as you become aware of who you are and observing who you are. And observing is a multidimensional experience, if you so choose. You can feel into the observation of who you are at a cellular level, if you so choose. And in that observation, you can begin to change the multidimensionality of who you are by giving light to it and loving it and honoring it and clearing it and cleansing it. That is most of what clearing and healing is. You become that multidimensionality of all that you are, a source, becoming in it. When you are in love with something, it's not a love that happens outside. Love begins within. Love begins within that excitement of, wow, I'm feeling things I never felt. And that feeling is the ignition of who you are within it. And I can put that love inside. It's always in. It's never out. It's just the illusion of the out. Remember, we offered the it. We offered the it as anything outside of us, but it is us. It's us. So as you become that observer of love of who you are, that feeler of love of who you are, the explorer of love of who you are, the stretcher and the presser outer of love of who you are, you get to be the experience of brand new things that have never been thought and seen before. Because we are the constant recycling of new life, new life, new light, new light, new life. Light begets light, life begets life. It is the garden ever eternal and ever recycling, and we get to choose to do that. We are the inspirators of it. And they were showing me that the excitement and the honor and the love of who you are and the pressing in and out of who you are and the softening and the expanding of who you are, that will meet you in equal measure. And when you thought you had that childhood dream, it will be a threaded experience through equal measure, that in the divine timing, when all is right and all threads are in place, that's what's called divine intervention and divine synchronicity and divine symbiosis, where all things are in that beautiful alchemic ingredient where it just, look at that. And that is what is often called, yes, synchronicities and miracles. It's a divine array of orchestration, a very elegant orchestration. And how can we not be excited about that? Isn't that what we're wanting to step out of? These experiences of routine orchestration that is by ego, and stepping into the magical orchestration that is spirit, when it just pops up when you least expect it, when it just is that magical thing that happens in the ringing at your door and the beautiful call that you never thought you would get, but there you got it, or an email that you didn't expect and there it was. That is the elegance of spirit. That is your heart pulsation of your creativity pressing out in the little pulsations in the quasars and all those little quantum pulsars that are happening in the omnipresent, that it has your name on it and it's being sent to you through the divine orchestration and the elegance that is you falling in love with you. That moment that you reach that depth of falling in love. And we've all felt it. Those of you that are watching now are regular in my classes. So put your comments below and we would love to hear from you about your experiences, about the depths that you're reaching deeper and deeper and deeper into the love of who you are. The love of who you are and the love of who you're able to explore yourself as that was different a day before. That's what we're excited. That's what we want to hear about. We want to hear about how rich you are in the garden of you. We want to hear about how rich you are in the seed that you get to plant for you. What will my story include? What will my story include today? I want to plant that seed. I want to plant the goodness and the goodwill to all. And then that next page tomorrow, I'm going to write about it. I say, wow, in my journaling, I wrote that I saw the goodness in all today. I saw this happen and that happen and that, because I planted the seed the day before, and that's how fast things are manifesting. So what seeds are you planting? How may you fall in love with your co-creations? How may you fall in love with the body that you are is now spirit? Every cell is spirit. Your skin is spirit. Your body is spirit. All that you are is spirit. Can you fall in love with that? Can you know that there's an angel as spirit that is you? That angel as spirit that is nourishing you? That angel as spirit that says, I will love you unconditionally. And yeah, you're working your way through difficult energies and difficult experiences. You're doing the best you can. So fall in love with yourself and forgive. And know that there's a wound in there. And just pour love into that wound. Just pour love. The angels are with you pouring that love. That you were told at some point and somehow, some way that you were not important, that you were not special, that you had to do things a certain way in which you didn't feel like doing it a certain way. You want to do it your way. But you were conformed into doing it a certain way and it felt boring and lack of spirit. And you get to breathe again. I activate my inspirational creativity. And I'm activating that every cell be awakened with creativity. I get to activate creative alignment to light, through which my chakras and my cells and my breath are constantly in alignment with light. Because I am the consciousness of Source Creator, and in that consciousness, I get to program, and I get to entrain, and I get to call, and I get to activate, and I get to ignite. My consciousness, however I choose, that is sovereignty. And as a Christic being, as a Metatronic being, as a being of light and spirit, I get to direct myself in a beautiful, nourishing, and blessed way, through which I will show value to myself and honor to myself and richness to myself and symbiosis to myself, through which synchronicities and miracles are an everyday occurrence because I get to. Where I wake up one morning and I feel so much better than I did the day before because I'm now valuing all that I am as a multidimensional being. I'm giving time to nourish my emotional body. I'm giving time to also inspire and emulate healthy emotions for my children and all children. And I'm speaking my truth that is honest and true for me. And I'm honoring the value of who I am as a multidimensional being. I get to experience spirit in a rich way where I'm feeling and I'm sensing and I'm creating and I'm writing and I'm exploring and I'm singing and I'm creating new stories every day that are in alignment with who I am as source. And I'm setting rich goals for myself that are purely creative. They're purely spiritual in my creativity because the spirit wants to dance. The spirit wants to experience life and love in all ways. Whether it's the love for Gaia, you're walking in the forest and wow, I just feel so creative because the animals and the elements and the nature animals and the fairies and the Elohim and all that is nature and all that is Gaia is singing to you and everything that you are becoming as spirit. My multidimensional fields are alive, my body is alive, my cells are alive, my thoughts are alive, and I just feel at peace and I'm centered and I'm breathing with Gaia and I'm seeing everything as spirit. Wow, and everything that you are as an epicenter of light just gets turned on and activated and created anew. Because again, you are the entrainer of your consciousness. You get to entrain the activation before you go on that walk. As I go on this walk, I'm going to enjoy Gaia in a much more beautiful and in a much more a spiritual and divine way that I've never done before, because now I get to fall in love with myself anew. I get to fall in love with Gaia anew. I get to fall in love with all of the animals and the energies that are just singing songs to me in every moment I step. That's living a rich life, where every step that you take, you're aware of the consciousness living within the consciousness, the light within the light, the cycle of life within a new cycle of life, and why we have taken advantage of it for so very long without little consideration. Every moment is rich. Every moment is rich. Don't compromise a moment that goes by where you're just like, wow, this is so amazing. Because it can be. You can fall in love with that moment, fall in love with it again, just to be still. I'm going to be rich just being still, because I know that there's creation breathing with me. My cosmic teams and guides. Take a big breath, slow and gentle. I intend to breathe with creation and ground. Gentle breath, ground. Deep breath. I intend to breathe with creation. I'm peaceful. I love you. Every breath is love. Every breath is love. Every breath is love. I create through love. I create through excitement. I create through light and love. Excitement, love, excitement. My day is filled with love. My day is filled with love. I get to see love and I get to experience love and explore love in every way that I can, because I can. I am a creator. And I'm breathing with creation. I'm breathing with creation. And my body is warmed by the sun, and I feel the beautiful warm sun from the ground that's calling back up to me because I'm paying attention to it. I'm observing the warmth and the beauty in the sun. And observing the peace and the love and the smiles on every human. Behind the masks, they're smiling. Behind the masks, they're improving their health. Behind the masks, they're feeling love and in goodness of who they are. Behind the masks, we're showing each other that through this virus and through this illness that we've allowed ourselves to see what's truly important, what's truly valuable for us within. Releasing the attachments to old stories that do not serve us in fear and greed and limitation. Very profound beings of light, and we have absolute control of our health. Absolute control of our new systems of light, and infuse light in everything that you can. Because I emulate light, I radiate light. I'm excited to create in light. I'm excited to see light in all things because there is. There's light, there is light, there is light. And I'm going to create in light. I'm going to explore in light. And I get to do all that I am and all that I am breathing in new light because I get to just infuse it. I intend to infuse light into my breath. And my lighted breath is feeding all of the cells and all of the organs, and I'm clearing away anything within me that is not light. A thought form that I took on that was dense, an angry show that I watched that was dense, whatever it is, and I'm clearing it away. Because I love and honor myself, and I want my field, and I want my body, and I want all that I am to feel good, and to feel nourished, and to feel embodied in light. Because I get to. And then I get to create it and express it. And that feels really good, because then you feel as if you're in honor, you're in alignment, and you are in authenticity for who you are as spirit. The spirit is creative and expressive. And how can you express yourself in light? Express yourself as who you are as light. Speak to yourself as light. I love my body of light. I love my cells that are becoming more light. I love that I'm choosing food that has greater light. I allow myself to know that I am greater light, and I see myself as greater. I'm observing myself as greater light. And I observe all others as greater light. I'm infusing the reality with loving intentions of the healing across all worlds and all realms and all countries and all peoples. I'm infusing the love and the benevolence that I choose to see a new world the way I choose. I get to see the enrichment of light in all beings. I get to see those walk with a quicker step in a love and a joy of who they are. For self-love is all things. Self-love is who you're becoming. Self-love is who you're writing yourself to be. The new story of who you are, the new experience of who you are. Never underestimate self-love. It's how healthy you are. Self-love. Love and be in joy of who you are. Love and be in joy of your own creative expression of who you are. Fall in love with you. Fall in love with the dynamic, infinite benevolence of you. To see the goodness and the light in all things, because you can. Honor the lessons and the blessings in all things. Return to center. Ground. Respond as spirit. And choose anew. Take the lessons. Release the stories. Release the vibrations. Return to center. Respond as spirit and choose anew. You get to create a new cycle, new cycle, new cycle, new cycle. Creatively brilliant. And so you're going to have more greater experiences that are outside of the random routines, and you will awaken the greater meaning in why you are guided and what you are guided to be inspired to create and co-create and connect and co-create with. And those are the beautiful multidimensional synchronicities that you're guided to do, and you're just led here and you're led there and you're led here. There's very few experiences where you have an outline of your moment for moment day. No, you're going to want to move as spirit. You're going to be absolutely trusting unconditionally. Unconditional trust that you are with spirit. Spirit will say, read this and read that within this document sitting before you, because those are the vibrational pings that are showing you this, this, and this, so that you can make your highest and best decision. Spirit will always guide you there. Spirit will always say, here's the vibrations and what's being presented, and you get to choose. And through your lessons, through your blessing and your appreciation of every little story that has been, and you're soaking it for all that it's worth, because you know that Source is a master, you're going to be faced with something that will allow you to step up to a greater new cycle, and you're going to want those experiences of all those stories that were so challenging. Because you get to say in your strength and in your divine creativity and in your divine power that you know you can create something out of nothing, no matter what is broken up, no matter what is taken from you, no matter what you don't think you don't have. As spirit, you are creatively inspired. I can create something out of nothing, and that is your alignment with spirit. Make no mistake about it. If you can create something out of nothing, you are in alignment with spirit. Spirit will always show you, this is what's crumbling and this is what's left. After the dust settles, what can you create? Well, this is what I got. Let's do this, because it does serve a purpose, because there's an infinite number of beings out there that will want a little bit of this and this and this that are also going through the same thing. And they are then inspired to say, yeah, I can create anew. This just fell away. That just broke apart. That just left me. That just got taken from me. Return to center. I learned a whole whack from that. I'm going to create anew, because right now I want to level up. Right now I want a new story. Right now I want a new vibration that I get to. And I get to choose myself and who I am. That's the birthright of every single being on this planet. Free will. You get a choice. Nobody has entitlement and obligation over you. Nobody. I choose from spirit in my highest and in my best. And I know that Source and creation will match me. And I love who I am. I want to create from this place of love. I want to create from this place of trusting myself unconditionally above all. Your higher guidance above all. Your oneness with spirit above all. Your oneness with who you are as a creative inspirator. And that is how you choose. I create from this level. My level, I get to choose. And that's my ever movement forward in light. And as they always said, those that you know tarot divination, the hermit, you're always aligning with your light, and Source will always place it there. This is where you're going. This is who you are. And there's an infinite number of threads that come in and meet you there. And to always stay aligned with your path, stay true to your path. Don't apologize. This is your path. This is who you are. Own it. And it's okay if others are sorting out their energies and vibrations, and they get to own who they are. Not to, from our egocentric perspective, and this is why we must understand ego. We must understand all of the dense programs we've come from. That we've come from such an egocentric society where we had to get and do, and we had to compare ourselves, and we had to be judged and away from all one another's, because that's the outside of it. When you understand that all that you see outside of you is you, you then start creating that story that says, well, this is me. I'm not going to allow myself to be judged against any other, because I'm okay with who I am. That's when you start returning to you. You start thinking the world that you saw outside of it, no, it's now me. Now, how can I start feeding me? How can I start healing me from all those old stories that placed everything that was better than me and greater than me, and all of these vibrational stories of competition and win-lose, and the beating and the getting and the winning, and all of those egocentric stories, because that was serving satisfaction and love and acceptance outside of yourself, and it's never, ever. When you awaken to who you are as spirit, acceptance is fully self within, and you start directing your story from acceptance of within. That's why one must own all of your stories. Own it, face it, nourish it, love it, embellish all the blessings within it, because there is, and you pick and pull those wisdoms and you say, this is how I choose now. This is my new story, and I get to create it with Source. It's not in competition of anybody else, because then you're still working from ego, and ego will still pull you back to those cycles and circles where you're still returning ego, and you will receive that reality of ego. When you have that lantern that's in front of you, that is spirit saying, no, you're an individual co-creator. Your creativity comes from within, and this is where you will be guided. So pay attention to you and your story. Stay in your path, stay in your lane, and allow every other story to come to you, and you get to discern it, you get to see it and perceive it and observe it. And then you get to choose what comes into your sacred space. You get to choose what comes into your sacred vibration of your cells and your chakras and your body embodiment of light. Oftentimes you will feel the vibration of it before it gets into you, if you will. But then if it's an experience where it's a constant experience of relationships, and you're constantly having to clear and match those healings of those relationships that are constantly going through karmic dilemma, then you have the infinite experience to say, after I've learned the lesson, I can let that go. And you can just choose to release those cords of attachments that are karmic. You can choose to release your karmic energies. Can choose to release once you've learned the story. Yes, this taught me a valuable story, and now I'm closing it off. I've learned it. Now I'm going this way. You get to own that wisdom. You get to own that experience. Say, yes, I'm making the best of it. Now I can create this way. I lost everything. So now I get to choose because I do value who I am. I value all that I've earned. I worked really hard for all that stuff. And then you got to heal all the loss and grieve it. Allow yourself to feel and process it. Not suppressing it. Allow it to come forward and process the loss. Process the grief. Own it. Claim it. Value it. Feel it. Bless it. Rebalance it. Now I get to create from a balanced perspective. Now I get to create from a really rich experience, because now I get to create something really rich from all that I just went and alchemized. That's why Jesus was so profound. He alchemized it and processed all of it. He wasn't just a master that came as a master. Yes, he did, but he still had to go through his earthly experience and soak everything for everything it was worth and process it and integrate it. He had to go through the alchemy of everything. He couldn't be at the vibration that he was and heal the mass density through the vibrations of illness, contagious illness that others were experiencing. And he was that vibration of the highest light possible, to be there and heal them through the conduit that he was as purity, and then walk away. He had to then reclaim that light and reprocess the alchemy, because it's a constant experience. He had to replenish his body of light. He had to replenish his mental body, his emotional body, his etheric body, and spiritual body. That's the alchemy. Why he did, especially after, collective, walking from city to city and collective to collective, he had to have that time to replenish and nourish and rebalance. Our versions and our stories of him have been idolized, that are often not humanized. He was spirit in human form, just like we are. And he came forward to say that you're all sovereign beings of profound genius, if you so choose. But it's about going within again and start loving yourself whole. Every cell is God. Every cell is every atom, everything in life, every breath, all aspects. There's nothing that's not. How is our observing and our perspective and our loving and our behaving and our caring and our gentling and all of these experiences that we want to create in new ways? Because how you can feel about it, you're creating it. So do you feel really excited? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel like you're a blessing? Do you feel like you're valued? Start there. And that's the story that you get to see reflected back to you. I feel really good today. Today I feel like a beautiful experience of Source Creator. I get to experience this anew. So we hope that you're allowing yourself moments throughout your day where you get to feel into the value, the preciousness, the importance of who you are, and create from there. You get to choose your story and its reflection on all life around you, and start to feel the importance of who you are, to feel the vibration of your importance, to feel the vibration of how you get to create in all moments, because you are a cosmic, omnipresent creator. So begin to step outside of those systems that had you in small little boxes, let them go, and allow them the peace and the love that they are from. And still return back to them when you want to pull back the wisdoms and the pieces of elegance that you've appreciated and you've honored and you've valued. And know that it's always there, just like the mall. There's always that one store that you like to go to get that one or two little things that you really, really appreciate and enjoy. And then you've got that whole other array of the mall that you get to go into and get different vibrations and blessings in. And then you get to create yourself anew. And constantly evolve yourself. Constantly allow yourself the excitement to evolve in a most dynamic, multidimensional way. Mentally, physically, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, Gaia, environmentally. That's our potential. That's what's so exciting. We get to fall in love with it all over again. And we love you, dear lighter ones. For those of you that would love to join us on our beautiful Moon Wisdom, a Divine Feminine Moon Wisdom Healing and Activation class tomorrow, it's at 1:30. Send us a donation, $22 USD minimum, and then I'll send you out a link by 11:30 tomorrow. And then our personal activation and healing glyphs. There's a video on our YouTube channel about the healing glyphs. We're still offering those, and I'm all caught up on them. Thank you so much for everybody that's ordered them, and I'm so grateful for all of your beautiful feedback and your beautiful stories that you've sent me. I'm really so grateful that I can be a part of your awakening journey and your consciousness journey. I'm so blessed. And for those of you that have had personal sessions with me and private coaching sessions with me, I'm so very blessed to be a part of your journey. And our weekly World Ascension classes every Saturday. For those that want to get more in greater alignment of who you are as a multidimensional epicenter of light, and create weekly goals for yourself on how to continue to nourish yourself vibrationally, mentally, emotionally, and etherically, and energetically, and spiritually, and really create that beautiful experience of who you are, and allow yourself to explore this new 5D realm of who you are, and soften into the spirit of who you are, preparing yourself for first contact, preparing yourself for greater exploration with spirit as spirit. And we love you so very much. And thank you for including us in your beautiful, exciting journey of co-creation. And we hope that you're enjoying beautiful Gaia. And just say prayers to everybody that is suffering, and send everybody goodwill and abundance, because it will come back to you. And be the blessing of who you are, that is source and spirit and love. We love you so much. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Bye.